Charles Jenkins is stirring up the church world like never before. His latest R&B single has fans talking, pastors questioning, and social media on fire. What is it about this song that has people divided, and why are conversations happening even in church pews? You won't believe the reactions and the hidden details behind this track. Stay tuned, because we're uncovering everything you need to know about the song that has everyone buzzing. At the center of a heated conversation in the gospel community, Charles Jenkins has just released an R&B single that is turning heads and sparking debates. Known for his powerful worship music and deep roots in the church, Jenkins has surprised fans with a track that blends soulful R&B rhythms with lyrics that challenge traditional expectations. In this video, we will break down the song's content, the reactions it has received from both fans and church leaders, and the reasons why it has become a talking point across social media. You won't just hear the headlines. We'll explore insider perspectives, fan commentary, and the broader implications for Jenkins' career and the gospel music industry. This is where it gets interesting. Some praise the song for its creativity and emotional depth, while others question whether it pushes boundaries too far for a gospel artist. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this single has everyone talking, why opinions are so divided, and what it might mean for the future of gospel and R&B crossover in the church. To understand the impact of Charles Jenkins' latest R&B single, it's important to take a step back and look at his musical journey. Charles Jenkins has long been celebrated in the gospel world for his ability to inspire and move audiences with his worship music. Known for chart-topping albums, unforgettable live performances, and a voice that resonates with both emotion and authority, Jenkins has built a career that blends faith, artistry, and connection with his audience. From his early days as a worship leader to becoming a Grammy-nominated gospel artist, Jenkins has consistently focused on uplifting and spiritually enriching content. His music has not only dominated gospel charts, but has also been a staple in churches across the country, providing worship experiences that connect deeply with congregations. He is widely respected for his authenticity, stage presence, and dedication to ministry through music. However, Jenkins has always shown a willingness to experiment musically. Over the years, he has occasionally incorporated elements of R&B, soul, and contemporary rhythms into his work, but never in a way that fully blurred the lines between traditional gospel and mainstream R&B until now. His latest single represents a significant moment in his career because it challenges the boundaries of genre while maintaining the heart of his message. Fans have followed his career closely, attending concerts, streaming his albums, and engaging with him on social media. Many have witnessed his growth as an artist, noting how he has evolved both musically and personally. This background is essential because it highlights why his recent R&B release has created such a stir. The expectations surrounding Jenkins are not just about music. They are about faith, tradition, and the image of gospel artists within the church community. Social media conversations and online forums have been buzzing as fans debate whether this single represents artistic innovation or a controversial departure from traditional gospel norms. Churches themselves have weighed in, with pastors discussing its lyrical content, style, and appropriateness for worship contexts. This intersection of artistry, faith, and public opinion sets the stage for understanding why the song has captured so much attention. But here's the cliffhanger. The single itself contains musical and lyrical elements that some say are groundbreaking, while others argue they are provocative and divisive. In the next section, we'll dive into the song itself, examining its lyrics, production style, and the elements that have sparked such passionate debate across the gospel community and beyond. Now that we understand Charles Jenkins' history and reputation within the gospel world, it's time to focus on the R&B single that has the church talking. This song is a bold fusion of soulful R&B melodies and gospel-inspired themes, blending smooth instrumentation, contemporary beats, and Jenkins' signature vocal power. From the very first note, listeners are struck by the polished production and emotionally charged delivery, which both honors his gospel roots and introduces a modern, mainstream sound. Lyrically, the single touches on themes of personal reflection, spiritual struggle, and emotional honesty, topics that resonate deeply with listeners but are expressed in a way that differs from traditional gospel music. While gospel songs and scriptural references, Jenkins' lyrics take a more personal, introspective approach. He sings about navigating life's challenges, questioning, and seeking guidance, all set against the backdrop of R&B rhythms that emphasize sensuality and emotion. This stylistic choice is what has sparked both admiration and concern among his audience. Fans on social media have praised Jenkins for pushing creative boundaries, calling the song a refreshing evolution of gospel music. They highlight how he manages to maintain spiritual integrity while exploring new artistic territory. Comments across platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube range from excitement about his vocal delivery to appreciation for the song's relatability and emotional depth. At the same time, critics, particularly within the church community, have expressed reservations. Some pastors and traditional gospel listeners question whether the single's R&B influence aligns with worship values and whether its sensual undertones could distract from spiritual messages. Church forums and private discussions have debated whether it is appropriate to play the song during services, or if it should be considered more of a personal listening experience than a congregational one. Another key element generating discussion is the psalm's production. With contemporary beats, layered harmonies, and soulful arrangements, Jenkins showcases his musical versatility. Producers involved in the track have reportedly collaborated to create a sound that is polished, radio-ready, and emotionally resonant. The combination of R&B instrumentation with gospel vocals creates a fusion that challenges traditional genre classifications, leading some to label it as gospel-R&B crossover or progressive gospel. And here's the part that has fans most divided. While many admire Jenkins' courage and artistry, others fear that the song could set a precedent for gospel artists moving too far into secular styles. This tension reflects a broader conversation in the gospel music industry about innovation, audience expectations, and the balance between personal artistic expression and community responsibility. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. The next section will explore the reactions from the gospel community, including pastors, fellow artists, and fans, revealing why this single has ignited conversations, debates, and even controversy in ways few expected. The release of Charles Jenkins' R&B single has sent ripples throughout the gospel world, sparking conversations that stretch from living rooms to church sanctuaries. Fans were the first to react, flooding social media with excitement, curiosity, and sometimes shock. On platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, discussions erupted about Jenkins' bold artistic choices, his fusion of R&B with gospel, and what the song represents for the future of worship music. Many praised his authenticity, noting that the emotional honesty in the lyrics allowed listeners to connect with Jenkins on a deeply personal level. Comments ranged from admiration for his vocal delivery to debates about whether the song fits within the traditional gospel framework. Fans lauded the single as a refreshing evolution, celebrating the way Jenkins challenges musical boundaries while maintaining the heart of his spiritual message. Others expressed hesitation, reflecting a tension between embracing modern styles and preserving the sanctity of worship. These discussions highlight a central issue in the gospel community today: how to balance innovation with tradition. Pastors and church leaders quickly became part of the conversation. Some viewed the song as an opportunity for dialogue about contemporary worship practices, suggesting that Jenkins' approach could inspire new ways to engage younger audiences. Others expressed concern about the R&B elements and the emotional intensity of the music, questioning whether it might overshadow the spiritual message or blur the lines between secular and sacred expression. In private meetings, forums, and sermons, the single became a case study in understanding modern ministry and the role of music in connecting with congregants. Fellow gospel artists also voiced their perspectives, with some praising Jenkins for his courage and creative vision. They recognized the difficulty of stepping into new genres while maintaining respect within the gospel community, and many admired his willingness to risk controversy for the sake of artistic expression. At the same time, some peers cautioned about potential misunderstandings or backlash, emphasizing the delicate balance between innovation and tradition in gospel music. The wider media response added another layer to the story. Entertainment blogs, gospel news outlets, and music critics dissecting its lyrics, production, and potential implications for Jenkins' career. Articles and reviews debated whether the track represents a natural evolution for contemporary gospel or a controversial departure from its roots. Social media metrics, streaming counts, and YouTube views skyrocketed as curious listeners checked out the song, fueling a cycle of discussion and commentary that continues to this day. And here's the cliffhanger that keeps the conversation alive. While reactions are mixed, one thing is clear: Charles Jenkins has sparked a meaningful debate that goes beyond a single track. Fans, pastors, and artists alike are asking bigger questions about the direction of gospel music, the role of personal expression in ministry, and how contemporary sounds can coexist with traditional worship. The next and final section will tie everything together, reflecting on the lessons this controversy offers and what it means for both the artist and the gospel community as a whole. As we reach the final part of this story, it's clear that Charles Jenkins' R&B single is far more than just a song. It's a conversation starter, a cultural moment, and a reflection of the evolving gospel music landscape. The reactions, both positive and critical, reveal the tension between innovation and tradition, personal expression and community expectations, and artistic creativity and spiritual responsibility. One of the key lessons from this controversy is the power of authenticity. Charles Jenkins took a bold step by blending soulful R&B with gospel themes, demonstrating that artists can explore new musical directions while staying true to their spiritual foundation. His willingness to experiment encourages other gospel musicians to think creatively, challenge conventions, and bring fresh energy to the genre without compromising their core message. Equally important is the conversation about discernment within the gospel community. Fans and church leaders alike are learning that embracing new sounds requires thoughtful reflection. Not every song fits within every church context, and not every style resonates with every listener. Jenkins' single has sparked valuable dialogue about boundaries, appropriateness, and the future of contemporary worship music, reminding us that musical evolution is both exciting and complex. Social media's role in this conversation cannot be overstated. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube allowed fans to instantly voice opinions, debate interpretations, and share experiences. While some responses were critical, many highlighted the song's emotional resonance, its relatability, and the way it connects personal struggles with spiritual growth. The viral nature of the discussion demonstrates that gospel music is not confined to churches. It thrives online and in cultural spaces where diverse audiences can engage. For Charles Jenkins, the release of this single is both a triumph and a challenge. He has successfully pushed artistic boundaries, showcased his versatility, and created a song that will be remembered and debated for years. At the same time, he faces the responsibility of navigating public perception, managing dialogue within the church, and addressing any concerns from fans, pastors, and peers. The single becomes a case study in balancing innovation with respect for tradition, a lesson that resonates across the gospel industry. As viewers, there are several takeaways. First, celebrate creativity and the courage to innovate. Second, approach controversy with curiosity rather than judgment, understanding that meaningful discussions often emerge from differing perspectives. Third, appreciate the role of music in bridging emotional, spiritual, and cultural experiences. Charles Jenkins' single reminds us that gospel music can inspire, challenge, and connect people in ways that extend beyond conventional boundaries. If this video has given you insight into Charles Jenkins' R&B single, take a moment to like, comment your thoughts, and share your favorite aspect of the song or Jenkins' career. Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all trending, controversial, and scandalous stories in the gospel world. By engaging thoughtfully, you help foster a community that values innovation, dialogue, and appreciation for the evolving landscape of gospel music. In the end, this single is not just about controversy. It's about conversation, creativity, and connection. The church is talking, social media is buzzing, and the gospel community is reflecting. Charles Jenkins has reminded us that music is a living, evolving force capable of sparking dialogue, inspiring emotion, and challenging perceptions, all while remaining deeply rooted in faith and artistry.